What's going on, guys? Lambo here. In our last video, I showed you how to make this vehicle from an in-game mod and get it working and all that fun stuff. So in this video, we're going to cover the color select, the rim colors, and possibly something else if we have time. I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes for my people with short memories. So first things first, I have the XML of the Gator open, and because we're doing color, I'm going to scroll. It's usually down at the bottom. We're looking for this thing called base material. Right here, base material. We're going to zoom in so you guys can see it with bad eyes. We're going to make a little bit of space here, and I'm going to read to you what this means and try to help you best I can. So material, this is just a random name that you're going to pick. A lot of times in the extra code we put in here, they use this to identify what material it is you want to color. The base node is going to be Gator Viz LOD. So if we look here, we are actually going to find this inside of our i3D somewhere, our i3D mapping, and it'll be node 001680. So let's look at that inside the i3D real quick. Okay, so remember that 001680. Now I got the i3D open and I have located that index path. Look up here, index path 1680. So it is changing this color. If we go down here to custom shader, I do believe this would be color 1. It would be whatever's most green. No, it'll be color matte. Yep, color matte 1. So don't change anything here. We're actually going to go back to the XML and scroll all the way back up to our tension belt, and you can see shader parameter color 1, and then the value is John Deere green. Now we don't actually have any code inside this to allow us to have the option in the store menu to change color, but there is one vehicle that you can snag just the XML to use it as a reference really fast that will help us, and that is let's say the pickup, the lizard pickup. So you would go to your farming simulator data folder, vehicles. Next, we're going to find lizard. Where are you at, Mr. Lizard? Somewhere here. There we go. Lizard pickup 1986. And we're going to drag that into our text editor. Now, you don't want to actually make any edits or changes in this XML because it is working game. It'll cause errors in your overall game. But at the very bottom, like I said, most of the time right before the i3D, it has the So right here where it says base material configurations, what we are going to do is highlight this, both of these, because I want to do the rim as well. And I'm just going to hit copy, open back up our Gator, and I'm going to paste it in here. But we're going to have to change some stuff around here. So right here where it says Gator mat, we're going to want to copy that and replace this pickup mat really fast. Okay. And because it's shader parameter 1, we want it to change that instead of the shader parameter mat 0. So we'll change that to 1. Okay, now because I put this rim color configurations, we don't really have to assign anything. All we're going to end up doing is going through and allowing ourselves to change the color of the rims. So we'll hit save on this, and I'm going to bring up my game really fast. If you've watched the previous video, you will see that we have fixed that icon error that we had, and we're just going to start up our game and go from there. So now our game is started up, and as you can see, it gives me white, because that is the stock in-game color for the white. Let's look at the store, and we will take a look at the changes you can do. So now we have the ability to change the color, let's say pink, or you want that John Deere green, wherever it was, John Deere green. But you have that option, and if you look at the rims, we now have the ability to have chrome rims, or red rims, or pink rims. There we go. And this method works with items and vehicles that are already been UV mapped in by Giants. So you can't just throw in any old objects. It actually has to be UV mapped. There we go. Now we have a crazy looking pink and purple gator, but it's not going to change all the colors because right here, this is a dynamically loaded object. So it can't actually change the color on this bad boy without causing some errors. So that's going to be an issue we'll run into, but you can remove it or you can put something else in there. Let's go take a look at that code there and show you how to do that. As you can see inside of GE, that object is not there at all. It has a little mounting spot, but where it is placed, let's take a look at the i3D. We're going to scroll up and take a look at dynamically loaded parts. Sorry for the headache of the scrolls. Dynamically loaded objects right here. Basically what it's doing is the link Starfire. So let's go try to find that in here. Starfire. You can see right there that it has a transform group that uses it as a reference point where it's going to spawn in that Starfire. And it knows where to grab this asset from because of this right here, the file name shared assets Starfire i3D. That's how dynamically loaded objects. We could change that out to a toolbar or whatever it is you want to use. Now, the dynamically loaded objects works a lot like the lines of the beacon lights, even though this flashes and does all that kind of stuff. It does the same thing. It reaches into a file name that gives us this path here to follow, and then it'll say beacon light XML, and it'll load in that beacon light at that node beacon light. So you're not actually putting beacons inside of the mod. You are just using these little transform groups you see right there. And now if we wanted to get crazy, you could edit this technically. Let's just change the scale over here to a 2. We're going to hit save, and then I'm going to peekaboo back into the game really quick. Okay, we're back into the game. You notice the beacon light, it looks normal size right there. You're going to use your tilde key, and you're going to use the code called GS, capital V, vehicle, capital R for reload, and then we're just going to hit this, and it's going to give us this ridiculously big beacon light. And you can do the same thing with any of these dynamically loaded objects. To That's ridiculous. Absolutely redonkulous. All right, so that's the fun stuff, right? Let's change it back and do our normal thing in life. So I'm going to go back into here. I'm just going to change that transform group back to a 1 scale. Next up, let's change a material that is not listed in the base material. And in order to do that, we're going to have to create our own new base material. So I'm just going to hit copy on this, and we need to track down the new base node. So I have this open, and if when we loaded it up in game, you notice that the seats were still yellow. Maybe we want to change those to a different color. You got to track down the part that is color selectable. So I found it. It's interior LOD 01. So we would find this node right here, and then down here in the shader parameter, you're going to have to probe around a little bit. I like to hit cut and then paste. That way I can figure out if I lost it or if I have the right one. But I do believe it's color matte 01. Sometimes it could be 0, sometimes it could be 2 or 3 or whatnot. But we're going to hit cut, and you notice how it changed it to red. So that's the one we want to edit. We're just going to change that back. So just remember color matte 01. But we need to use this index path. If you want to do this the proper way, we need to go through and create a i3D mapping. So we'll go down here until we find that Gator loop viz, and we are going to copy this. We're going to put in this new index path, and we're going to change the name that it's using. We're going to add in inside just to keep it simple. We're going to copy that, Control C, or if you want to be a pro at it, you can change interior LOD. You just copy that name, go back to here, paste it in there. Okay, now that part is mapped, and we can find it again, easily go up to here, and we're going to change base node. So this is the part that you want to change the color of. We need to change this here as well, because this is just the name that you create that you can identify down here. So we're going to change that, and we already know that it is color matte 1, so we wouldn't change that. Now that material is set. There isn't a lot of mods that actually show the design material. So there is the base material configurations. This is going to be your main body, but then you need to find a base material or a design material configuration. And I have a mod that I use already. We're just going to clean it up though. So I'm going to go through and okay, so now we have design material configurations. Use default colors. I want to say true because then it'll give us our actual all the yellows, greens, pinks, purples, whatnot. And we're going to put seats. And then we need to get our interior LOD. This is the name that we created. We would want to put that in the material name section right here. Ensure that it matches up with the shader parameter up here. 01. So now we should be able to change the color of the seats in the in-store menu. Let's hit save. Let's load it up in game. Let's find it in our list of vehicles. Now we don't have that option yet. So what we would want to do, because we have it saved inside of our i3D and also inside of our XML, we are going to scroll through here till we find it's a GS capital store. And then after you've had that much written, you can hit tab and it should pop up store items reload. We would just hit enter and now we have the ability to change the inside colors as well. So we want purple seats with a pink exterior and red rims. Bingo. There you go. That is the basics. Try to keep these videos around 10-15 minutes for the people who got ADHD like me. If you enjoyed this and you want more, make sure you hit that like button. Maybe comment down below some other things that we can do this that you want to learn. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.